Hello there and welcome to ADcraft. I've been building the most epic steampunk city in Minecraft for well over a year, with details, farms and lore along with huge and crazy builds. Today I'm creating another massive expansion with functional houses and an amazing new factory area. So relax and get yourself comfy for another awesome episode of AD's Adventure. Since we were last here, a couple of things have changed. Firstly, and most importantly, I have upgraded the world to 1.20. So we've now got access to all of the fantastic new blocks and items that have come through in the new update. I've also switched from Optifine to Iris and Sodium because there's better compatibility. I was getting loads and loads of crashes and things, so that is much better. And I've trimmed a whole bunch of the chunks for the world, so that we can now go, and we don't need to go quite so far in order to find things like the Cherry Blossom Grove. But as you can see by my distinct lack of armor, because I've got a texture pack on that takes away the armor and makes it invisible, I've got basically no interest whatsoever in the new armor trims. It just isn't personally something that interests me at all. I am normally facing this way and can't see any of it anyway. So just so you know, I won't be probably looking for that, although I might pick some up along the way. But as we look up at the cathedral we've got here from the last build, I really love how this has turned out, and I've got some big ideas for this episode. The first of which means that we're going to have to go and start breeding some more villagers, because whilst we've got some masons here and we've got our clerics over here, one thing that I've been having to go back to the original starter village for is the librarians, and I'm going to be building somewhere for them all to live. So that means harvesting up a whole bunch of carrots through my micro farm and making sure that these guys are well fed. Perfect. Whilst they're breeding away, it's time to tell you what the plans are for today's episode. And the first thing that I'm going to be doing is creating a new tunnel that is going to be going through this cliff underneath our funicular railway and everything that we've got up here, and coming out behind the plateau that we built and behind the cathedral. And the road is going to be carrying up this hill with a factory at the top. But here I'm going to create some housing for all of the librarians that we're going to be breeding up, so that they can have their own specific places that we can go to trade with them that are going to look super cool. And now for the first but not the last time in this episode, it's time to get digging. After much digging, I have a big hole. I also have a very grey sky, because with 120 they've changed the way that the weather cycling works, so it doesn't reset the rain counter when you sleep at night. And so if you did sleep at night before, you would find that you would almost never get any rain. But now, as you can see from this horrible grey sky, yeah, that isn't working so much. When I was cutting through and building this, I did also make a little pathway that I'm going to fill in on this section here. I had to be very careful because I've got all the redstone for the ender portal going through here, and as you can see, it cuts very close to that with the coloured lines from the wool, where I've got the redstone going right the way up over the top. This is why you should always put your redstone on coloured wool, because you can't accidentally mine through it, because you don't mine so quickly, and it's easy to see. Also in this space, using the most of the space as we can see through to the amethystine tree, it's very close to the copper aging facility. So through on the other side of that brick, we have our copper aging, and it really is just making the most of all of the space that we have in the base. And once I've added in the walls and everything here, I think it's going to look really cool and make use of an area that would otherwise be inaccessible. So really pleased with that. Have left also a big space here, and this is for something that is going to be very useful in 120, and I will show you that a bit later. But first of all, I need to now go, and it's almost time for bed, so get some sleep and get the resources together so I can start doing the walls and ceiling and floor to make this look a little bit neater. And the tunnel itself is now complete, and I've added in some extra pipes from these steam pipes and from the slime pipes going into the top to tie it all to the rest of the base. And as you can see, we've got some of the details in here already, with some of these steampunk pipes going along here. Got a little walkway that we can come along, and we've got some of these grindstones making a nice pattern in this wall, and some other little bits of visual detailing in here. This isn't an area that is going to be used hugely, I wouldn't expect, but it's nice to have some things that you can see when you are in here. And one thing that I did realise is by using the skulk in here, I am running very low on this. So if any of you know of any good skulk farms, then I will probably need to build one next episode because I want to get some more of this. So please do let me know in the comments. Here is a nice big hole, and this is going to be where I am going to be building another farm, which is going to be a small flying machine based bamboo farm. So I've created a design just using some basic flying machines and some hopper clocks. So I've created the hole but haven't put this in yet. That will be the next task. And then if we come through here, we can see the road just comes through this way and will then continue up this hill. And this is where we're going to have the buildings on either side. I've also added through now and completed this walkway. So this goes right next to our power station here for the funicular railway and gives easy access from this direction as well. Ready to come round here, but I need to get my redstone resources now, head back into the tunnel itself and build myself up a bamboo farm. A little bit of redstoning later, and as you can see, I've made some changes to the back of this tunnel. And the first thing that I've done is to add a bit of contrast and make this stand out a bit more because it was just blending in too much. I've added some of this striptication. I think that really pops with the skulk in the background and these grindstones and just some other little details, just so this wasn't such a big flat space. And that brings us to the main event, which is the bamboo farm. Now it's only a little bamboo farm for now that will passively keep going in the background, but it is run by a couple of hopper clocks. And this will, if it grows all the way up, because there's 32 bamboo here, will actually farm us a stack and a half each time it goes. And this will then pick everything up and supply it to us into this chest. So it's been going a bit whilst I've been doing the building. And all of this is a movable block, so it's got some real nice decoration in the background, and of course some amethystine there to help the bamboo grow because it gives off its obviously powerful rays. But if we come in and have a look at the back, we can see here that we've got a hopper clock that's got 4 stacks in, and another one that's stacked on top of that actually will go on a 2-move cycle. So every time this has gone twice, this will fire off this connection. So I think that this works out at about 6.5 minutes, which I'm not sure, I might add or take out some items depending on how quickly this all grows. And this goes through here, and you can see we've got a little return station. I've actually got a manual start off on here as well. So as you can see, it heads off, goes all the way down, knocks the bamboo off, goes to an auto return station and just comes back. And this is just a real simple flying machine, just a variation of what I've used in the copper farming as well. So really pleased with how this is going, and if I do need any more bamboo on top of this, even though it gives a fair chunk, I can always manually harvest it at the base. But now the thing that I need to do is get the other main stuff that is coming from this update, and that is to find myself a cherry blossom grove. And I think I'm going to get some rockets and head off in this direction. And as we fly over the Guardian farm, I have chosen this direction because if you remember, this was where we went for the spruce trees and for all of the snow. So as far as I understand, the cherry blossom groves, they spawn near, if not on top of, the snow. So I'm thinking that given that I've trimmed all of these chunks, a little bit of lag there, then potentially if we just carry on this way, we will hopefully get to something that gives us those lovely pink petals. And would you believe it, here we have our first cherry blossom tree, and I think I've found the world's smallest cherry blossom biome. And oh no, actually some more has spawned here, even though this one here, the lonely cherry blossom tree, I think that this one needs to stay because is this really a cherry blossom biome? Yes it appears to be. Cherry blossom grove, fantastic. So at least now we can see the pink petals and this. Now this is the good stuff. I absolutely love the colors that come through from this tree, and the particles that it gives off from the leaves are just brilliant. And when you combine that with these pink petals, then it really is amazing. This is one of the best additions to Minecraft in my opinion for some time. As a big fan of Japanese builds particularly, this is a total game changer. But anyway, I am going to head around here if I can fly and take off, And here we have what looks like a much more substantial cherry blossom grove. There's some ice spikes as well. Ah, nice. But if we head down here, I can start collecting some of the leaves and collecting some of this wood. So I've done a good deal of deforestation, but I have made sure that I've been sustainable and replanted as many of these lovely cherry blossom trees as possible. And what are the fruits of our labour? Well, we've got nearly 2/3 of a shulker box full of the logs, and then loads of leaves, loads of these pink petals and the saplings. After a little bit of juggling with the sorting system, blocks are now in their rightful places. It has meant that I've had to clear out some other spaces, so I'll need to work out what to put here at a later date. But I've also created here my working box with some more cherry logs, some more bamboo and some trapdoors for both, ready to go into my ender chest, so I've got those available whenever I need them. So I'll plonk those in here quickly, and then the next thing to do is to head over here to the end of our tunnel, and I now have to clear out some space for the builds that are going to be going here. Well, I've created an ugly big hole in the side of my terraforming that shows the back hidden bits of the other builds that we've got, and a big dent over here, but that'll be fine. All of this will be covered up once I've got the resources from my base to start building these. The other good thing that's been happening is being over here, that's been activating my little bamboo farm, so that's been going strong, and I've got a whole bunch more bamboo as well waiting in there for me. With the resources all collected up, it was time to get building. And as you'll see, the street is now complete and I've done some decoration, including adding another one of these little delivery vans coming through. This one's in a different color scheme, and this is using some of the blocks that we've got here, these new cherry blossom blocks, the cherry blossom wood specifically, and I absolutely love this. I've already started using this as a decorative block in various different places around the build, just because the color is just so gorgeous, especially when you put it next to something like the crying obsidian with the particles. So I really like how that has brought the area to life. But as you can see through the windows, we have got full interiors on all of these builds, and these were actually absolutely massive builds in the end. There's more than a full shulker box just of the bricks in these, and they took a very long time. But I am super pleased with them as well. So if we head into the first of these here, you'll get the general idea. So coming in, they are meant to be very crowded and claustrophobic, just little workers' houses. As we come in here, we've got a little fireplace and some seating, and they've got various different color schemes throughout. But the main reason that these are here is going to be to house the librarians. So they've all got the same kind of style with the lecterns here and with some of the barrels above so that you can store the things. I've also hidden things like ender chests around there. But they're all connected up as well to make travel easy throughout. And we've got things like a little toilet here, and then we've got some more, and there's various different numbers of them, and they're not just in these areas. When we go through again into the main house and come upstairs as well with more decoration, we've got little bathrooms in there which again are connected through in between all the houses for easy transit. We've got the little bedroom and also some more of these little librarian areas as well. So yeah, these are super cute all the way inside, and we've got 9 houses with at least 4 librarians each. Now I don't actually know how many books you can get, so it could be that there's actually more opportunity to get librarians than books, and I can double up on some or just leave them in case they have future librarians that actually come out as well. So they're all linked through, as I said, around here. and then down to the end. So really pleased with how that has gone. And also that we are really getting a serious backlog now of the bamboo just from this passively working. Again, I've emptied this a couple of times as well whilst I've been doing this, but yeah, the fact that this just passively goes in the background is a great thing. And now back over to the villager breeder, because I have a lot of converting and a lot of lectern replacing to do. And the first two, I was lucky enough that I've actually managed to get looting, so I want to lock this guy in here by taking this trade. Boom, and that's that one done. And this guy's got sweeping edge, so I really don't want to miss out on this trade. So again, I will lock this in now and get these trades and get these guys cycled through a couple more times just to keep their trades as low as possible. And I also need to see what this guy is, but I'm not going to do all of the villagers at this point because there's going to be an awful lot of them. I just want to get some of the basic trades, and then I've got to build myself the track across, the ugly dirt track with the rails, and actually get some of these people in place, because that's not going to be easy in itself. And I've now done all of the grind with regards to these villagers, and basically this is only the villagers to fill the first 2 of 9 houses. So I'm going to have to do a lot more, but I have got all of the useful trades in here like sweeping edge, and I've been looking through for various other things as well. So efficiency 5, knockback, all of the stuff that I would need mainly for tools, which is the main thing that I would need to replace or get more of. And I have got this very janky nice dirt track, because can you really call yourself a Minecrafter if you don't take your villagers using a dirt track? So we've got 3 bays here, for example, that I'm going to pop the guys in, and another 2 upstairs on this side, and then there's 6 in the first house over there. So yeah, now I've just got to sleep because I don't want to be transferring these guys whilst it's dark, and get these guys in place. Well, surprisingly, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, and a lot quicker. So once I'd got that lovely dirt track in place, it was pretty simple to actually get these guys in, because they were all in that room. It was just pushing them onto the tracks. So now I've done the thing that I didn't do before, which is put all of the books on some signs above their heads, and I've got these barrels ready to fill up with the books themselves. This guy himself is a little bit of a strange one, because when I was going through, this guy's got mending, and directly beneath exactly the same mending trade. And this happened not once but twice for me, not with mending but with feather falling. So I've got another villager over in the other house that's got feather falling 4 twice in a row. So yeah, strange one, but I've started to get my villager trading set up in place. The rest of them, we've got some in here. So here we've got, I've tried to group them together a little bit as well. So these are the kind of the pickaxe things. So we've got silk touch, fortune, and unbreaking in here as well. And where I've got a top level enchantment as one of the other enchantments, then I've put that on here as well. So yeah, really pleased with that, especially with how quick that was. And the other ones over in this house. But yeah, lots more houses to fill up. But it's time now that I've got those guys in place to actually do a little bit more building. Got to put a block there that I've missed. But what I'm going to do is a little bit of clearing out on this area, and then building up the last build for today, which is going to be an absolutely epic new factory that's going to go here. So I'll get clearing and get building, and do that in the form of a time lapse. A little decorating later, and the build is now complete. And as you can see, I've updated this on the map so we can see the street as it comes through and then goes into the cliff, and this is the entrance. And the colour scheme on this really adds itself to the area, and it fills up what was before just a very blank space in our base. So really pleased with how this has gone. But now over to the build, and I have created this little cut through which makes it super convenient to go from one side of the cliff through to the street itself. One other thing that I did was I shifted across the car, the van here, because it just looked a bit too crowded on this side against the edge. But up here we've got the finished factory that's now fully decorated, and I've added some big cogs of machinery on the outside. This is just to stop it from sliding down the cliff, so this is some reinforcement, and these are like some big pneumatics to hold this in place. And I also really like the elevation that we've got going up to this. So the fact that you come up this cliff and you've got to go up again to get to the factory with its big gates and this huge courtyard here. I like the two factories next to each other. So we've got another big cog over here. On the side round here, we've got like a big furnace-y thing with some more gears. So this would tilt up and down. Not entirely sure why, but it does that. And then we come into the littler of the two factories. We've got this boiler. We've got some more detailing. I need to actually wax these, that reminds me. But yeah, we've got also some more machinery coming through here. Some more around the side here. And then coming into the practical side of things, we've got this. Now this is a really, really simple design by Raiseworks. This is just a little pink petal farm. So literally you bone meal it, and then you switch it off and it picks up in a hopper and just puts it in this chest. So now that we've got them, we never need to run out of pink petals. But looking at the details here, you can see there's loads of detail in here with these two big furnaces and this machine that's running the two cogs in the side, and then some more of the steampunk equipment here. So yeah, overall super pleased with how this looks. And it gives some gorgeous views down here from this side of the cathedral from last episode too. So there's loads to explore and loads to see here, and a new world download after this episode will be available to my patrons. So if you're interested in that, check out the link in the description and see if there's a tier that suits you, and you can come on and explore and play on this world yourself. But above all else, I'd like to say thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed the episode, please do make sure you let me know in the comments what your favourite part is. Hit that like button, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and I will see you all next time on ADcraft.